Recording the session. Okay, so the today's agenda is that we will discuss more towards data analytics. Uh, and after we see the introduction about data analytics, we will see about building dashboards and how we can use the BI tools. What is BI? BI is basically business intelligence tools, and then we will move from the basic topics. From there we go on to Excel. There we will develop some dashboards, and then we go on to the Power BI, and Power BI dashboards will be built there. So that's in short the agenda. So at any point of time, Amoda or Nandakumar, if you have any questions, you can drop your questions over the chat box. I will try to answer your question as and when it comes on. Okay. So are we good to go? If yes, just a thumbs up, or yes would help me to keep going. Okay, fine. So before we go on to the next, so let's also understand, before we get on to the data analytics and everything, it's also important for us to understand what the data analytics is all about, and let's try to understand what this segment is all together. And many a times people get lost with the big words, and the basics are sometimes lost. With that in the background, if you see, data analytics is a process of collecting, organizing, and transforming the data to draw conclusions, to make predictions, or drive decisions. So this is specific to any when you have some data, how you use it to transform the data, to make some, draw some conclusion towards making a business decisions. So this will also help the stakeholders in the organization to utilize the data for data-driven business decisions, and how they could use these data further for their organizational growth. So that's in short data analytics as a definition. Going forward, it is also important that we understand business intelligence. Many a times the data analytics and business analytics is used interchangeably. So maybe it's important for us to understand what is the difference. So for example, you are a student, you are taking a data and you are trying to analyze, you are trying to see whether is there a growth or is there a pattern. That's just you're analyzing the data. That's more towards like a data analysis. But if the same thing is done towards on a business related data, where you could utilize that analysis for a business decision, then that is called as business analytics. So there is also a term called as business intelligence. What you can see here is that, so here it is similar to the data analytics or the business analytics which I mentioned, but here the one slight change is that sometimes in the organization, what happens is you are dealing with a large amount of data, and sometimes you will also have to do historical data, current data, or else you have some leading indicator data. So all these datas you will be having. How you utilize these data for business decisions. So that's in short this business intelligence about. And to do this, many a time Excel also has a capacity constraints, so it cannot take, or we cannot have data more than 15 lakh rows and above. So in such cases, what happens is we use business intelligence tools, which I will be speaking in the next slides. So there, even with a large set of data, you will be able to do the analytics over there. So that's in short the definition about the business intelligence. So now we saw about data analytics, we saw about business analytics, and also about the business intelligence. Coming on to the next thing, let's see what the business intelligence or the BI tools which I spoke about. And why we need this BI tools is basically, today the data is available in different sources. The data can be available in the individual's laptop, it can be in the organizational's server, it can be a cloud server, it can be a physical server. So you need a tool which can connect all these data sources, and then from there you try to do the data mining and the data transformation. I'll speak about more about this data mining and data transformation when we see the practical examples. And then once you do the data transformation is basically you do a cleaning of data. Many a times the data is not in the right format, right data type, and right set of combination. So there you will go and do a cleaning of the data. That's called as data transformation. Next, when you are having large set of data from different sources, it is also important that you establish a connection between the data. So that's also called as data connection. And then further you go on to the data modeling, where you build the relationship between the different data sources, and then we can do calculations. The calculation can be, it can be a complex calculation, it can be simple calculation, and all those things. After these calculations are there done, maybe there we could focus on to report building and the dashboard creation. That's what primarily we'll try to do. Once this dashboard reportings are done, how we are going to utilize that, or how we are going to share the data with the other stakeholders in the organization. For example, it's not that you develop something and you keep it for yourself. You also have to share this with the other stakeholders in the company. So how do you share that, and all those things we can see. And after that, with those data and those analysis, what future predictive analysis you can do, and then how that could help for example, the CEO of the organization, or the management team members, or the other team members, how they utilize the data to take a business decision. So this is in short about the business intelligence and how these business intelligence activities are carried out in an organization per se. So here you can see some of the BI tools which I mentioned. I mentioned about the Microsoft Excel, which is one of the very basic business analysis tool. But there is restriction in Microsoft Excel. But today, when it comes to the large organization, they prefer using Microsoft Power BI, Tableau, Sisense, Looker, DataPine, Zoho Analytics, ClickView, SAP Business Analytics, or SAP Analytics as well. So all these are utilized for the business intelligence purpose. Okay, so any questions till now? If all good till now, maybe any quick question, maybe I'll wait for a minute. So before I get on to with the first set of tool, that is the Microsoft Excel. Any questions? I see Sachin has joined. Sachin, if you are a student for today's session, maybe if you are a student who have joined, maybe you can give a quick introduction about yourself, Sachin. It will help the other participants, and as well as for me as well. I can know you and I can understand your background, and accordingly I can curate my discussion today. Okay, so then until Sachin joins, maybe I will now go to the next screen. Okay, so the today's agenda, as I mentioned, we will be building, we'll be doing the data analysis in both Excel as well as in Power BI. And after that, what we will be doing is we will be building dashboards in both these tools on the analyzed data. So that's in short the overall objective of today's session. Okay, so now before we start with the analysis, according to me, the first step in an data analysis process is to look at the data and understand the data. That's very much important. So maybe I will quickly show you the data set for today, and then maybe I'll quickly open the different data which is available for today's discussion. And from there, we'll briefly look into the data. Okay, so today I have kind of taken this data from a public resource where you can see this is the business transactions that is done in a retail store. Okay, so every day there are various customers visiting the retail stores, and there are different products they purchase, and every day they have a different orders. So here you can see in this table, in the file named sales. In this file, you can see there are various order details, and then for each order there is a product key, and there is a customer key, and then there is a location, that is the territory key. So looks like this is a for example, it's like a retail store like D-Mart or for Vishal Mart or Big Bazaar, something like that. And the number of items, order of the line item, maybe in that bill or in this order there can be 4-5 order items, and then this specific product is part of the order line item 1, and you also have the order quantity. So this is this is the sales data table, and if you see there are around 56,044 rows of data is there. So it's a considerably a larger data set. Along with this sales, I also have given, we saw the customer ID there, but the customer ID data was not there in that Excel, but that data is available in a different Excel. Here you can see what do you call the customer name, the date of birth, their marital status, their gender, their email ID, their annual income, and their complete demographics detail, their educational background. All these things are given for us to know if we have to do more of a deep dive analysis. So this is about the customer detail. Also, we have something called as, we saw a territory. So territory number in the sales Excel sheet. So this is the sales territory, and then you have the in which region all these sale happened and in which country this sale had happened. So here it's also interesting to see that it's a multi-country. This retail organization is present in different countries as well, and in different continent as well. So this is also an interesting data set. The next is you have what do you call, you have we saw the product keys. So we have the product key, and then more information about there is also a product subcategory key, and then the product name and the description, the color, size, and different information. It also, here they have product cost and what is the price. So basically at what price it is being sold, and what is the cost of producing that product. All these things are there in this products table. So now if you see, this data is available in different Excel and in different sources. So now it is important for us to understand how we can, if we have to know, for example, if we have to know what is the sales that has happened on a given year or a given date, it is not pretty straightforward to get that. And also, if we wanted to know whether the business is growing, whether the business is declining, whether the business is happening in one country, whether in each store wise, whether the growth is happening or not, these all are the kind of analysis as a business leader one has to do. So if you are a data analyst, what you are expected to do is, now you have this kind of different data sets, and then now how I can use these data set to bring in a meaningful information. With that information, how it will help the organization to take a better business decisions, and what should be the next actions and all those things. So that's in short the objective of having these different set of data and how to build something. So now what we will do is, I will walk you through step by step how we can build do the data analysis in Excel, and then how we can connect all these data from different Excel. In this case, I assume it as a different data sources, and how we connect, how we establish relationship between the different data tables, and then how we can build a meaningful dashboard. So that's in short what we are going to do in Excel. Once we do this in Excel, how the same thing we can do in a Power BI. Power BI, as I mentioned, is one of the topmost business intelligence tool. So I will speak about more about the Power BI after we finish the dashboard building in the Excel. Clear? Clear till now on the data set? Any questions? Any quick questions from the participants? All good till now? If yes, you can just give a thumbs up, or else you can just yes, thanks Nandakumar, yeah, thanks. Okay, good. So maybe I will close all the data sets and let me quickly show. Okay, so now I am okay. So what you can do is, I will also parallelly show how you could work with the data. So to start with, I'm opening a fresh Excel. Just opening an Excel, and I'm opening a blank workbook. Okay, so blank workbook, I'll just save it for save it as Excel data analysis. Excel data analysis. Just saving it. Next is, I go on to okay. So next I quickly go on to, if you see here, to do all these analysis, we want a option, something called as Power Pivot. Okay, I will tell you, I will share you how you could enable that. So for example, when you open an Excel, you have to go to File, and in the File, next you have to go to Options, what you can see at the bottom. Here in the options, you have to click add-ins. So now if you see in this laptop which I'm using currently, there is no add-ins currently present, but there is a add-in. You can see something called as Microsoft Power Pivot for Excel. So that is the add-in what you can bring. So that is something called as COM add-in. So you have to go at the bottom, select COM add-ins, click go from here, and then here you can select Power Pivot for Excel, and then you will have to click Excel. Okay, so if you see, if you do that, this Power Pivot is now currently available in the Excel ribbon. So what is Excel ribbon? Excel ribbon is basically what you see here with the different tool palettes. That is called as the ribbon. So now I assume I will just cover some basics about Excel. It will also help for you. If you are already an expert user of Excel, it's well and good. For you, it could be a refresher as well. For example, if you see here, we have the clipboard options, all your copy, paste, and form, what do you call, if you want to transfer the formatting from one cell to the other cell, all these options are available in this clipboard. So now, next is basically the font, where if you want to do any kind of changes to the font, all the from the color, alignment, border, bolding, size, all those things, uppercase, lowercase, all these things are part of this font. If you want to see more option, you can just see an arrow. Wherever there is arrow, that means then there are more options where you can go inside further, and you can do further more options which are not available in the given screen. And then you have the alignment option, then you have the text wrapping, merge and center. And then here you have the option to select the different data type, and then align, what do you call, selecting the right formatting for the data. Next, you have something called as styles for the data what you have. If you want to bring in some styles, some kind of conditionals, if you want to bring in, so that's there in the styles. And next you have something called as about, if you want to do a cell level operation, if you want to add a column, row, if you want to delete or if you want to format, you can use with the cell. And then you have something called as editing, means if you want to do some summation, some basic operations, if you want to carry out, if you want to do sorting, if you want to do filtering, all these things are available in the editing tab. And regarding add-ins, I showed you how you can add certain things. So you could also add some separate add-ins. So that's just outside of the today's discussion. Along with this, there are various other things you can just have a glance. Today, a couple of things what we will be using predominantly is, one is the table option and pivot table, which I will be discussing more in the coming few minutes. There is also something called as formula. There are some predefined formulas that are available in Excel, mathematical formula, mathematical operation, some financial operations, some logical operations like if, and, or, not, some text option. For example, if you want to join to text, or if you want to extract only a portion of the text, or if you want to count how many text characters are there, all those things, if you want, those are text operations. You have a date and time, and you can also do some mathematical and trigonometrical calculation as well, and like that you can do statistical and various other options are available in the Excel itself. So that's why Excel itself can qualify as a business intelligence tool. And yes, as I mentioned, there are some limitation in the form of the size or the number of rows of data and the column which Excel can accommodate. So that's the reason sometimes once that exceeds the organization, sometimes they are using a huge amount of data in crores and crores of lines. So what happens is, in those places, they will be trying to utilize the business intelligence tools. Okay, so along with this, I also have brought in a column called as Power Pivot. Okay, we will be discussing more about Power Pivot in the next few minutes. So Power Pivot is basically will provide the capability, or it will enhance the Excel's capability to do the data analysis, and what do you call, it will help to do all the operation which can be done in other business intelligence tools. So that's why you have to add this Power Pivot, through which you will be able to carry out the data analysis. Okay, so now before the first check about before you connect any data, the first check what you have to do is you have to check whether the data is in table format. If the data is not in a table format, I highly recommend to convert this table to a data table. So now how you can do that? You can just select the data and then you select everything and then you click convert into table. It just converted into a table. So with this you can see here, so now this entire data has been converted into a data table. Okay, so now just, so this is products. Maybe in a minute I will quickly convert. Will quickly convert all the data what is available into a table, so that it becomes easy for us to import into an Excel and carry out the operations. You can see how I am. So you can just, there is also a way how you can do is you can click in any one of the cell in the Excel, and just you just go insert and then click. It will show the extreme limits of this table where the data are present, and wherever the data is present it's showing, and it, with that you can just click OK. So the data will be data in each cells are now combined into a table. Just allow me a moment, I will do it quick. Okay, so looks like we have converted everything to data table, and then we have saved as well. So now I will quickly go open a new Excel, take a blank Excel, then let me quickly give a name to that. So maybe Excel data analysis. I will just put it in the downloads and I will save this. So now the data in the data table we have converted into table. Okay, Nandakumar. For others, I see a message from Nandakumar stating that the screen is little blurred. What about others? Others are able to see my screen clearly, or is it blur? Is the picture quality good? Whether Amoda and Sachin, can you please confirm? It's blur. Okay. Maybe I'll just quickly enter something. So maybe I'll just enter my name. So can you see and confirm, is it blur or is it okay now? Is it still blur? Still blur. Okay, so then just give me, it's okay, sir. Is it visible or not visible? Or else what I will do is I will connect the data and then we'll see whether it is blur or not. So it will make our life. So now you open a blank Excel, you give a name to that, and next you have to go to Power Pivot. Once you go to Power Pivot, there is something called as Manage. So now you will have to click Manage here. A pop-up window will open like this. So now what you have to do is, now you have to get the data from other sources. So since we are not working in an organizational environment, for today's discussion all the data is in the Excel format. I'm just going to the other sources. From the other sources I have to just select Excel, and I have to double click that. Then it will take me to a page where it's asking me where the data is there. So I'm just selecting wherever the data is there, and then here, if you see here, the data is present. So now here, one by one, I will first bring the sales table, and there is an option here itself. It asks whether the first row of the column is an header. Yes, because that's the title of each and every column. So I select yes, and I click next, and then the table is appearing here, and I click finish. When I do finish and when I click close, the data is now brought into this Excel. Okay, so I will now try to quickly connect the other Excel files which are relevant to this data set. So the second one is so I've already brought in sales. I will connect the returns. The same steps you will have to do for all the 7 data tables what we will be using for today's discussion. So you will get access to at the end of the session, you will be getting access to these data sets, and you will be able to access these data sets as well. So make sure whenever you are bringing in, since we are importing it as a table, the first row is always selected as header. So you can see I'm selecting the table. Make sure this icon use first row as column header is selected, and then from there you go on and select the data. And the next thing is the last only one data is there. Just give me a minute. There is only last one data set of file. Okay, so now if you see all the different data tables which were there, I have brought it into this sheet. You can see here it's there in the different, though the Excels are in now Excels are from different Excel files. It could be of a different data sources, but now if you see, all those things are brought into single environment. So this is basically called as data extraction. So there is a process called as ETL. You call it as extract, transform, and load into data analysis. So the first step what we did right now is basically we have extracted the data from the different data sources, and we have brought it into a Power Pivot environment. Okay, so now once this is done, so now what is there is, now you will have to utilize this data for analysis. So the next is transformation. So here this is a very simple data set. There is no further cleaning is needed for this data set. What you have to do is you will have to establish relationship between the data tables. So that's the next thing, where you will build connection between the different data tables. So each data tables, how it is connected with the other data table, and then how you can build relationship, and we can take it further for the analysis purpose. So now let me quickly go on to on the right hand side top, you can see something called as a diagram view. So you have to just, I repeat, on the top in this Power Pivot window, there is something called as a diagram view. So you have to just click this diagram view. So now when you click this diagram view, all the tables which I imported is available in the form of boxes, and you can see in a small boxes it is available here. So now here the objective of this going into a diagram view is that you have the data available in different tables, and your objective is to establish connection between each and every table, so that the data you can build relationship. For example, if you want to know from United States how much was the business, that immediately, or how much was the sales, how much was the profit, I was not able to get that information immediately, because when I went into, I will go again, if I want to go back to the same data, so I have to click the data view, it will come back to the data. In this sales, I have only the date when the order was booked, the order ID, the product, what product was bought and which customer bought it and which location this order was booked, and this specific product was in which order line item, and then how many quantity customer bought it. So with this, I cannot make any sense. If as a CEO or a business leader, if I want to know how much was the business from or how much was the sales from United States or Canada, or from if I want to see for the entire Europe, I cannot, those information are readily not available, and without that information I will not be able to take any business decision. Just a minute, there is a question here. Sir, what if we forgot about clicking that header option? Can we delete it again and add the data? So now, okay, so I will also, thanks Nandakumar for that question. I will also explain about how you can do that. So what you could do is that you can delete that, that's one option. And there is also another option where you can bring in the header and bring the header and then show it as the first line as a header. I will show that option as well in few minutes. But now let me continue with the discussion. So now the data is available here. Let me go to the diagram view. So in the diagram view, in the sales table, now sales, our objective is to know how much is the sales, how much is the profit, from which country, how much is the sales, and all those things. So now with respect to that, now we have to go and find what is common from each of these table with respect to the sales table. Now for example, with respect to this returns table, I have a territory key. And okay, before that, yes, so I have a territory key and I will connect with the territory key. You have to just, what you have to do is you have to just click that. For example, I just, whichever is common from this table to this table, I will click and drag that line here and just leave it. Okay, so it says that the relationship cannot be because each column contains duplicate. Okay, so I will not, we can, it says it will give you an error if they are not able to establish relationship. So for example, from territory to sales territory key, you can see there is a relationship established because this is also sales territory key, this is also sales territory. So the next is there is customer key. Now we have a customer table. Here also we have customer key. So what we have to do is we have to connect the customer key from the sales table to this. So you can see there is a relationship established between these two. Next is there is a product key and there is also a product key in the product table. I just select and drag and drop here. The relationship is established between these two. There is also a table called as product subcategory key. 1 minute. If you have any doubts, for example, if you have, okay, I don't know which is the right product category key, is that right, wrong? So what you can do is you can go back to the data view. For example, here there is something called as product category key, but here there is, in the other table, there is only product key is given. So now if you want to connect the relationship, you should either, you can go into a data view, go to that specific table. Okay, here there is product key, product category key, and then there is product subcategory key, like that. There are different. So then you can go check and come back and then connect the relationship. In this case, what I am doing is I am going to connect the product key with product category key. It's the relationship is established. Then from here, from here there is a product category key, and then if I want to know the product category name, it is there in a different table, so I can connect it here also. So now you can see, now almost most of the tables are connected with the sales. It's not mandatory. For example, if you take the sales table is not directly connected to this product category table, but it is connected through this, what do you call this, sales is connected to this products table. The products table is connected to product subcategory table. The product subcategory is connected to product category. So this way you can do a connections, interconnecting connections as well. But make sure you are connecting to the right data type and to the same data you are connecting. And last is, you saw that we were not able to connect the sales and the returns, so we were able to connect it with respect to territory alone. So from territory there is also a sales territory key, and I have connected that too. So now if you see, all the 7 data tables are connected between each other. Okay, any questions on this data connection? Can you, yes, no? If you have any questions, you can put it in the chat box. If no, then we can go on to the next step in the data analysis journey. Nandakumar, Amoda, all good? No questions. Thank you. Okay. So let me quickly go on to the data view table. So now what has happened is, so now if I want to know for this, what is the sales price for this specific order and this specific product. So you can see here, this the product key was here, but the price, we know how many quantities it is sold, but we don't know what is the selling price, what is the cost price, and what is the profit. So if I want to know that, what I can do is, in the here you can see something called as formula bar. Okay, here FX, what you can see here, this is basically the formula bar. So now what you have to do is, if I want to get the, say, total sales in this column, what I have to do is, I just have to click in one of the first column. Then I have to go to the formula bar and I have to type equal to, I have to type related. So now we saw that all these tables are connected. So now this, since the connection is established, then there is a relationship that is built between each of the table. So we are going to use that relationship to get the data from products table. So for example, I will use this related product related, and then if you see here, there is something called as product price. If I double click that, I will double click that and I will just press enter. I will get the complete product price. So you can see here the product price is now brought in from the table. So now, for example, if you want to cross verify, this is for 360. Product key was 360. I go back to here, and here maybe I will have to quickly search for the product key number 60, smallest to largest. Yeah, so maybe I will show you for 360. The price was 2049. That was the selling price. So that is what has now been populated into this sales table. Okay, but that was the individual cost. So if we have to calculate the sales, what it means is, we also have to multiply the order quantity in this table itself, so that whatever that comes out of this will now be the complete sales. Okay, so now this heading, I go just double click the header, I can change the title as sales. Okay, so the same way, if I have to bring what was the cost, or if I have to first get the cost, how I can do is, the cost is basically, I have to go use again the related table. I go to the same product one, and from there I will bring the product cost. Cost is basically how much cost the organization incurs in order to achieve this. Okay, and next is so product cost into the order quantity. So this will give me what is the total cost. There is some error, I think I selected some. Okay, so I will take related, I will take the product cost into order quantity. This will give me the, okay, there is some error. Maybe I'll delete this column and I will redo this. Since I was clicking outside, this error has come. So now I again come back to, whenever you have an error, you can just delete that column, you come back, and then now you can just type equal to related, and then you can select the product cost into order quantity, and then you enter. Okay, so that means there is some error. What is the error? Okay, I'll check. Show error. Function related expected a fully qualified reference as it is argument. Okay, so that means there is some error in the incoming data. So that's the reason this error has been thrown. So what you could do is delete. Okay, so for now, let's keep it that way. So now I will try to bring in the product name from this customer key. So for example, uh, if I want to know the product key name or customer key name, both also will try to quickly bring it into this table. Equal to related. I will use the information from the products table, the product name, and I will select. So you can see the product name is now brought into this table. Okay, and next is, I will also bring the cost what we wanted to calculate. So is equal to related. From the related table, I bring in the product cost. I will put a bracket. Okay, last time I was missing to put a bracket, so that's why this error was coming in. So I have put a bracket now into order quantity. So this is basically the overall cost. Now you can see the error. So now this is the cost for that product. So now you have the sales. What is the total sales value? What is the total cost? From this we can calculate the profit. Okay, so the profit is basically equal to your sales minus your cost. in this sales table we have a sales column, and in the sales table you have something called as sales cost. So this difference is what is basically your, excuse me, it's your profit. So now whatever we have calculated and got it, so that's your profit. So maybe I will reduce the size of most of the icons so that you are able to see the, okay, so I guess you are able to see the profit is now calculated. You have the cost, you have the sales and everything. Okay, so now, so like this you can keep building relations and everything you can do from this. So now that we have got this information, what we can do is now quickly we can use this data to go towards analysis. Okay, so like this you can keep connecting different things, but since we have already connected most of things, I will let me quickly jump into the what do you call quickly jump into the Excel, and then I will show you how we can utilize these data. Now let us come back to this Excel, where we initially created just an Excel, and then later we went to Power Pivot and we clicked manage, and this window opened where we have got the data and we did all these activities. Now let me go back to this main window, and what I will go do is I will go to home page. What I will do is I will try to bring in a pivot table. Okay, so now I can do this way, or else since I've already established a relationship in this power pivot, there is a option from here itself. Here if you see here, after doing this connection, here there is an option called as pivot table option, which will help us to do all the data analysis portion. So what we currently did is we established the connection, and then we tried to bring some data from the different data table through that connection, and then eventually what we did is we were able to calculate the profit and the cost and all those things. So now let me go to pivot table. If I click pivot table, it will ask, should I create the pivot table in a new sheet or in the old sheet? I'm asking it to create in a new worksheet. I'm just clicking OK. So if I do that, it's coming here. So now there is a sheet 2. So just I will rename it as a pivot table. So and sheet 1 is where we will go and we will build the dashboard. So let me just keep it as a dashboard there. Let's come back to pivot table. But unlike I don't know whether you have utilized pivot table in any other in your Excel on a day-to-day basis. If you have used it, you will typically see only one table here. But in this case, since we have tried to connect everything, you can see very clearly that everything as all the tables are available here, and in lieu of the connections what we have built there, we will be able to build or populate the data and do data analysis from the different table in this sheet itself. Okay, so again there is a message from Nandakumar that sir can't see the full Excel because it was zoomed. Please zoom out little bit, sir. Okay, so you want me to zoom in or zoom out? Zoom out is basically the size is becoming smaller, and if you want me to zoom in, Nandakumar Moda, you are able to see this? You want me to zoom in or zoom out? Zoom out. Okay. 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 So now here we will build a dashboard. Before that we'll try to bring in certain calculation. For example, I want to, in the sales table we saw the sales of individual order, but if we want to see what is the sale of total value, I will get it next. You can see what is the total sales value. Okay, if here I will also do a little bit of a cleanup, so maybe I will just bring in a separator, so you can very clearly see it is 2 crore 49 lakhs and so and so. So that was the total sales. For example, if I want to know what is the profit, I will just bring the profit, and the profit value is also available in the next column. Also, if you wanted to see how many orders we have received in that period, so I will try to bring in the order number also, order number, but here we cannot sum the order number, we can just only count the number of orders. So you can see there are 56,000 orders, count of orders, and then how many products we have sold, that also we can get it here. Maybe just a second. Order quantity. So total number of products, that is, yeah, so this is the total number of products that have been sold. So this also is with this data. So now what we will do is, now with this data we will go and build this. Along with that, what we can also do is we could also build some more. For example, if you want to know, what do you say? For example, if you want to know the sales and the profits and number of orders in a specific country, which country, how many sales, if we wanted to know, so that how we can do that, I will quickly show. But here in the sales table we have only the territory key, but if we want to know the country, so that is available in the different table. But if you see now, when I go to this territory table and bring the country here, automatically this data will be populated. This is because there is a relationship or the connection that was established in the previous power pivot. That is the reason now we are able to build this relation. But in the normal Excel, this will not be possible generally. That's why we are doing this. And also maybe quickly what I will also do is I will also try to bring in some other category. For example, I will see in the product category, maybe product category wise, what is the category name? So product category wise, what was the sale? Okay, it says the relationship between these two are not established. In such cases, what we have to do is you have to go back to the power pivot window, and then you have to click your yeah, you can go here, and then you have to go to the diagram. It says that there is no connection between this product category and this. Sometimes the direct connection is not there. That's what it is saying. So what we can do is you can select a product key and product category key. See, now I have established relationship, and then now I go back to this and okay, so then maybe what I will do is I will try to bring in something else. I will try to bring in the continent. So for the what is the sales based on the continent also I will bring in for today's discussion. It might take some times to go look into the data errors. So that's the reason I have brought in these things. So now I will also try to bring in what do you call the sales and the profit, sales and the profit in the year wise. For example, I just pull out these two things. If I want to For example, I just want to see for the given year wise or the quarter wise. If I want to see what is the profit, then I go select this order date, I bring it here. So now here I want to see this quarter wise. So maybe I will try to remove the year. I will remove this and this. If I want to see quarter wise, what was the order value, and maybe I could also bring in how many orders we have received. How many orders we have received each quarter wise. So that also, if I want, I can bring it here, and then this will give a. So now what I did is, the data is there available in different places. Okay, there is some questions dropped here. Right hand side of the screen is not visible. We are unable to see the pivot table options. Okay, I think because it is zoomed out. Okay, just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. Okay, that is completely zoomed in. Okay, I can understand. I'm just seeing, I was just going on the flow. Okay, just give me a minute.